Hey buds, in this video I will be showing you how to beat the Tombs Easter egg. So special thanks to my friends Fireball and Bunny for helping me, get this footage and of course doing the Easter egg with me. Now this Easter egg is really short once you know how to do certain things, but this boss fight is super hard. So be sure to stick around for tips and tricks on how to beat that later in the video. But for right now, let's start from zero and get into it. Make your way through the map and interact with this stand. This will place the amulet from Citadel's boss fight and open up portals around the map. We don't need to go into those yet, so just make your way over to the room with Death Perception. We need to align this purple torch to be the closest to the perk machine. So if the lantern isn't in this spot, then it should be in 3 other places. If your flame isn't in the right spot and you need to move it, just shoot at it and 45 seconds or so later, the flame will respawn again. And just keep doing it until it's in this correct torch holder. So by now you should be on round 8, and if you're not, then just flip the rounds until you get to round 8. But a shock mimic will spawn, and when you kill it, it will drop a monocle. Obviously you're gonna want to pick this up. And then make your way back to that purple flame we were just messing with. Now you'll be able to see symbols on this bull painting in front of the lantern. So from here, we'll need to shoot these symbols in order, and they are Roman numerals of sorts. So 1 squiggle is 1, 2 squiggles is 2, 3 squiggles is 3, but 4 is IV, 5 is V, 6 is VI, 7 is VII, 8 is VII, 9 is IX, and 10 is X. But this specific bull wall will only have 8 numbers, so shoot them in order and a lockdown will start. Doppelgas, mimics, parasites, zombies, vermin, all of them will spawn, and halfway through the lockdown, you'll be awarded a max armor on top of the orb that's spawning in all the zombies. So just keep killing them, and once you've done it successfully, a max ammo and staff piece will spawn in right in front of the symbols you just shot. So pick those up and make your way to Deadshot Daiquiri's room. We have to go into another lockdown, and just like before, we need to align the lantern's flame to this holder. So once you've done that, shoot the numbers from 1 to 10 in order and begin the lockdown. It'll give you the same midpoint rewards of a max armor, and when it's totally finished, you will get another max ammo and another piece of the staff. And there we go, we've got all the staff parts now, so let's go build it. We can finally go into the portals that are scattered around the map, and they are going to take us into the Dark Aether Nexus. You're gonna want to go to the very middle of this new arena and interact with this centerpiece. The staff will be in the altar and you will no longer have access to it, so your goal now is to defend this staff as it builds itself. Parasites, vermin, and zombies with purple eyes will go directly after the staff and try to attack it. So make sure to kill them, and if the stat's health hits 0, then you have failed and the staff parts will still be broken in the altar. If this happens, then just flip the round and try again. When you've done it right though, all of the zombies around you will despawn and the staff will be able to be picked up. Now that you've got the base ice staff, let's focus on upgrading it. We need to go back to the caves and look for 3 ceiling lanterns that are in close proximity to each other. We need to shoot the flames with the ice staff in very quick succession. So I would recommend shooting at the flames until they align with one another so you can hit them very rapidly. For instance, this rear lantern in Death Perception's room, any of the Stamina Up room ones, and the one that's close to this red portal. If done right, Archibald will start talking, but if you weren't quick enough, then just wait for the flames to respawn and try again. When you've done it successfully though, you're gonna need to head back to the Dark Aether. We're going to have to find 3 floating rocks that have purple symbols on them now. Now, there are many different locations that they can spawn in at, so keep your eyes peeled, but when you found them, shoot the purple symbols with the ice staff. It should show a hit marker and the rocks will float downwards. You're gonna need to memorize the symbols on each rock, and once you've lowered and memorized all 3 of these, you need to look around at the 4 portals. One of them's gonna be closed now, and in our game, the blue portal closed, so we went to the blue portal in the caves. All you've got to do here is shoot the symbols that you just memorized with the ice staff. And there isn't a specific order, but make sure your symbols are correct. The portal will reopen even if you've put in the incorrect symbols, and there is a chance that you can fall out of the sky in the Dark Aether and die. So if that does happen, just flip the round, make sure you're putting in the correct symbols, and try again. But when you have inputted all of the symbols correctly, you will be teleported onto a rock in the sky. You're gonna need to interact with this purple orb. It's a moving soul chest essentially, so it will go directly to the red portal, turn left and go to the yellow portal, go straight to the blue portal, and then loop around to where the pack-a-punch usually is, and then directly into the centerpiece. Make sure that you stay with this orb as much as possible. And if you're in a squad, then every player will need to be following the orb for this to work. The orb will eventually go into the centerpiece and glow. All you need to do now is have the ice staff out and interact with it. You're doing great and are about halfway done with this Easter egg now. The upgraded ice staff has a charged attack where if you hold to fire, then a giant blizzard will freeze all zombies and slow down boss zombies. On top of this upgraded attack, you will also get this little baby staff, and if you shoot at your downed teammates, then they will automatically revive. In order to get this staff out, you're gonna need to hit left on the D-pad or B on the keyboard. For this next step, we're actually going to need the baby staff. So in the Dark Aether around the centerpiece, there are 4 different little statues. One with a vermin, one with a parasite, a doppelgast, and an amalgam. And what we're going to need to do is go to the vermin one. It should have this little blue crystal inside of the pillar, so all you've got to do is shoot at the base of the pillar with your baby staff. Purple mist will rise and you will need to interact with it to pick up dark matter. Now head through the blue portal to get back to spawn, and at the heart of the dig site, an identical statue will be glowing purple. You're gonna need to interact with it to start a lockdown sequence, and we've got to kill the vermin and fill the dark matter soul chest. If you fail for whatever reason, then just flip the round and interact with the statue again. But when you have killed enough vermin, the screen will flash and you'll have to interact with the statue to pick up the dark matter again. As soon as you pick up the dark matter, a bunch of zombies will spawn and you'll need to take another portal back because the blue portal will be sealed off. If you get hit too many times in this stage, then the dark matter will lose its charge and you will have to eventually redo the lockdown. So make your way back to the Dark Aether and interact with the vermin statue again to place down the dark matter. Once that's in place, we're gonna head over to the parasite statue. It will now have a similar crystal, and just like before, shoot at it with the baby staff, pick up the dark matter, and head through the yellow portal. In front of Stamina, there will be a statue you will need to interact with. This will begin a lockdown. Instead of just killing the parasites, you will have to kill them, and if they drop a purple orb, then you'll have to pick it up and carry them back to the statue. And this goes for any of these trials. If you fail, then just flip the round and try again. When you've completed the lockdown, interact with the statue to pick up the dark matter, and then return it to the parasite statue in the Dark Aether. The next one we've got to do is the doppelgast. So in the Nexus, the doppelgast statue will now have a crystal. Shoot it with that baby staff, pick up the dark matter, and go through the green portal. In front of Speed Cola will be the statue we've got to interact with. This will start a lockdown where you have to kill around 5 doppelgasts, and once you've done the lockdown, the screen will flash, interact with the statue, and return it to the statue in the Dark Aether. And the last lockdown that we'll have to do for this is the amalgam statue, which should have a crystal on it now. Shoot at it with the baby staff, pick up the dark matter, and head through the red portal. Head on down to Quick Revive and interact with the statue and be ready to kill an HVT. A red amalgam will spawn, and every now and then it will shoot a purple line towards a zombie that will give it a shield. Kill the zombies and the shield will drop, and once that HVT's health bar hits 0, all you've got to do is interact with the statue, and once all 4 of these lockdowns are complete and the dark matter's been returned to each statue, go to this headstone and interact. A bridge will manifest right in front of you, and all you've got to do is walk into this arena, and if you interact with the Sentinel artifact, then you will begin the boss fight. And if you're in a squad, then we'll call a vote to start this. Here's where the boss information comes in. I cannot stress this enough. Make sure that everybody on your team has legendary rarity and level 3 pack-a-punch on a bullet gun. The Sentinel artifact cannot be damaged by things like the ray gun or the Mustang and Sally. It has to be a bullet weapon. And I say max upgraded because I tried heading into this boss fight as early as I could to try to see if the health scaling of the boss was easier to deal with. But with level 1 Pack-a-Punch, I couldn't even do enough damage to the artifact to get it past its first phase. So please, if you're looking to do this fight, go in prepared. I'd recommend Aether Shroud with an extra charge and group cloak augments. Take Casimir, self-revives, mutant injections, everything you possibly can bring, you should bring. But do know that things like chopper gunners and stuff cannot be used in the Dark Aether. You can't use any score streak that provides aerial support. So things like Hellstorm, chopper gunner, they just won't work. And again, the Sentinel artifact cannot be damaged by by explosives or anything like that. You have to take a gun that shoots bullets. So, like I said, the ray gun, Mustang and Sally, some of the pack-a-punch snipers, they are useless in this fight if you're going to use them to shoot directly at the artifact. They can still be helpful though with HVTs and zombies, but the Ice Staff's charge shot is miles better. So the first stage of this boss fight is very simple. All you've got to do is crouch under the artifact. It'll glow orange and shoot a laser beam while moving in a counterclockwise circle, and be careful with this laser, okay? If you're in its ray, then you can go down straight away, like how I did in this clip. So if you're in the beam, make sure that you either crouch or spam slide. You can also hide behind several walls and so on to protect yourself, but crouching is optimal. Using the Ice Staff, fire a charge shot at the ground and watch as the artifact floats up until it switches from orange to purple in the sky. When it is purple, you'll need to unload all of your bullets into it. With a fully upgraded gun, it should go down easily, but if it for some reason doesn't, the purple ray it is shooting will spawn in a boss zombie. If you're on a squad, then make shoutouts when it's purple to avoid any confusion. And if you've done this correctly, then it will be broken and its health will go down. It will also spawn in an identical artifact. So there will be 2 artifacts, each with their own laser beam. A max ammo will also spawn in the center of this altar, so pick it up and stay crouching and continue to shoot the charged Ice Staff at your feet until the artifacts float back into the sky and turn purple again. And just like before, once they do turn purple, unload into it. More HP will drop and it will duplicate again. If you're on a squad, then ping which one you're going to shoot first, and once that one goes down, aim directly at the other one and keep on firing. And depending on how many you're able to destroy might lengthen the time that you have to spend doing this. Once you have 4 of these artifacts, they're going to continue floating up and down, and once they all become purple, ping one of them to shoot, and once that artifact breaks, all of the others will become immune. This will kick off the next phase of the boss fight. Then, an armored zombie with an orange artifact on its back will spawn in. At this point, crouching next to the altar isn't the best thing to do because there will be loads of doppelgasts and mimics, so running around as a group or on your own might be the best thing to do. You've got to kill the zombie and then it will drop the artifact, which will no longer be orange and will be purple. So you'll have to unload all of your bullets into it very quickly. And if you do enough damage, then you'll be able to break it. The artifact will fly away and spawn in an HVT with an orange artifact on its back. And from here on out, you need to be extra careful. These HVTs hit like a truck. The first HVT that it's going to spawn is a doppelgast, so make sure that you keep your distance. But when you have killed it, shoot at the artifact that it just dropped until the artifact is broken. And you've got to do this again, but with the shock mimic. So shoot at the shock mimic, kill it, and then it will drop the artifact, which you'll now have to shoot at. And then we'll have to deal with the named amalgam. So kite them and use the Ice Staff, all while avoiding the lasers that are still spinning around. This is the optimal time to use those immune injections. And if you're in a squad, then try to coordinate with everyone on who will be using their immune injection for which HVT. But once you have killed the Doppelgast HVT, Shock Mimic HVT, and the Amalgam HVT, then be ready. This is going to be the final attack. The fake artifacts will charge onto the real artifact, and the real artifact will be in the back of the arena. You have to shoot all of your bullets into this before the laser beam's purple orbs get to it. Because if the orbs get to it, then your entire squad will be wiped out and you'll have to start this Easter egg all over again. But once the artifact's health bar gets to 0, all zombies will despawn and the artifact will float back to the centerpiece. All you've got to do now is interact with it, and congratulations! You have completed the Tombs Easter egg. This is the cutscene that will play.
Raptor 1, I'm at the LZ. Let's get the hell out of here.
There is more to be done now that you've secured the Sentinel artifact. Bring it directly to me. I have gathered every available file on the history and previous uses of this ancient device. It appears several times in the historical record. Some date back to ancient Egypt. I have deciphered steps to activate and control it. The artifact requires an infusion of exotic materials. Unique elements that can only be harvested here at Liberty Falls. I have already ensured everything we need is ready for your arrival. You will see your lost Agent Maxis again soon. I'll be waiting.
Once the cutscene's over, you will get an option to continue playing or to quit out to the main menu. If you choose to continue, then you will be teleported to spawn, given extra points, ammo mods, max rarity guns, a ray gun, and a Pack-a-Punch level 3 crystal. You can also exfil later on, which is what we did. The rewards for completing this egg are a custom ice staff skin, which looks sick, 5,000 XP, and if you've completed the egg before directed mode comes out for it, then you will get this limited edition calling card. If you have any questions or need me to clarify anything, then please leave a comment down below, because I would love to help out any way that I can. And if you want to see any of our other Black Ops 6 guides, then check out these videos on screen now. And remember, buds, to join the village today, it's only a click away. And as always, thank you to our members, Aya Lilith, the Happy Tree Hugger, and Kinboshi.